Well, the big concern this morning is some patchy, dense fog, and our visibility has really been reduced in some spots down to less than a mile at Lewistown, Harrisburg, York. Watch out for some fog traveling along 283 in Lancaster County. Same deal if you have travel plans along the river routes this morning. Did have a couple of downpours overnight through Lancaster and Lebanon counties. You can see that now moving off to the east, but still some downpours coming down in the Schuylkill County area just south of I-81. In the meantime, for today, a lot of clouds. It just stays muggy. You really felt that humidity come roaring back yesterday, a real summer-like feel. I think it's going to be tough to break up the cloud cover today. We'll get temperatures into the upper 70s. On the area highways this morning, traffic moving okay. All your majors look good, as I mentioned. Watching out for some patchy fog, particularly along the river routes. No problems to pass along right now on the Route 30 corridor. It looks good both east and westbound. That's a look at the area roads. Your Members First traffic alert.
20 fatalities is just horrific.
It's the nation's deadliest transportation accident in more than 9 years.
Everyone inside of a limousine killed after it plowed into a parked SUV in Schoharie, New York. The crash triggering a massive response, including 6 ambulances, 2 helicopters, and 3 fire departments. Among the victims, a couple who got married just 4 months ago, plus 2 other women whose aunt was heartbroken over the loss.
One has 2 little children and one has 1 child, and they now have no home or no parents.
Investigators say the limo failed to stop at an intersection, but they're still looking into why.
Those upset with the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh took to the streets this weekend. Due to the accusations made against him, protests were held in cities across the country. Meanwhile, President Trump will hold a ceremony at the White House for his new Supreme Court justice tonight. Over the weekend, Kavanaugh was sworn in as the 114th justice. The 50-48 roll call was one of the chamber's closest Supreme Court confirmations in more than a century, made possible with the support of West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin and Maine Republican Susan Collins.
When I looked at the lack of any corroborating evidence, I could not conclude that Brett Kavanaugh was her assailant.
Republicans and Democrats are hoping his contentious confirmation motivates their supporters to get to the polls in November's midterm elections.
Well, happening today, Lancaster County congressional candidates will square off in a head-to-head debate. Representative Lloyd Smucker will be debating Democratic challenger Jess King. The event starts at 7 tonight at the Winter Visual and Performing Arts Center on Millersville University's campus. Meanwhile, the race for lieutenant governor also heating up, with Democrat John Fetterman going up against Republican Jeff Bartos. The two went head-to-head this weekend in the first and only lieutenant governor's debate in Western PA. The debate covered topics from infrastructure to gun control and gun laws.
An assault rifle ban in Pennsylvania, and there's no reason to have these military-grade weapons in the hands of civilians.
We woefully underfund mental health services around our country, and certainly here in the Commonwealth. But the way to get at that is we need to free resources up to handle these massive challenges we have.
Now, when it came to the legalization of recreational marijuana, the two disagreeing. Bartos says he doesn't support it because it doesn't have enough data. Fetterman citing economical and social justice factors as to why he is indeed a supporter. Now, in the gubernatorial race, Governor Tom Wolf appears to be holding a relatively comfortable lead over Republican challenger Scott Wagner.
According to the most recent Franklin and Marshall College poll, 52% of voters say they're going to vote for the incumbent, Tom Wolf. That number is 30% for former Senator Scott Wagner. About 17% of the voters polled say they're still undecided. We are less than a month away from Election Day, and Uber and Lyft want to make sure everyone who wants to vote has a way to get to the polls. Both companies are offering either free or discounted rides on November 6th. While we all know fire safety is important, should be practiced year-round, firefighters in Central PA and across the country are using this week to spread their message of safety and awareness.
It's National Fire Prevention Week. CBS 21's Joe Ducey is in Harrisburg. It's fire station number 1. Joe, why do firefighters say this week is really so important?
Hey, Michael, Sherry, good morning. The theme for this year's Fire Prevention Week is look, listen, learn, be aware. Fire could happen anywhere. Going to bring in Acting State Fire Commissioner Bruce Trigo. Commissioner, what's the main message you guys are trying to get out this week?
Well, the main message is, as you see the 3 words here, look, listen, and learn. The look is to look for any type of fire hazards, something that could start a fire. Listen is know what the sound of a smoke alarm is. Test them regularly, know what to do when there is the smoke alarm goes off. and learn what to do. Have a meeting place. Get outside where everybody's safe and you're in a place where everybody can find you.
And talk about that. How important is it to have an emergency plan and to actually practice that plan?
That plan is very important. It's imperative that you do that at least once a year and do it in a situation where it's dark. If you change the structure of your house, you renovate, there's another need to try a test then and plan and do an escape so that you know what's going on.
I'm going to bring in Chief Enterline of the Harrisburg Fire Department. You guys are actually having some open houses this week geared towards kids to sort of, give them an idea of what to do in case of a fire and practice prevention.
Yep. So we'll be bringing the community, inviting the community into our fire stations this week on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday at Fire Station 2, which is on North 16th Street, and then on Thursday here at Station 1 in the Uptown section of the city. And we look forward to those events to bring the kids and families into the fire stations, learn about fire safety, interact with our firefighters, see fire trucks. We'll also have some food and drinks for you as well.
And Commissioner Trigo touched on the smoke alarms. How important is it to have working smoke alarms, check the batteries, and if someone doesn't have a smoke alarm, what could they do?
So smoke alarms are so essential for your life safety. Just last week here in the city, we saw a near fatal fire because of a lack of smoke alarms, and that is something that we see time and time again. That early detection and being able to evacuate the building before that fire spreads is so essential for your life. And if you don't have one, you live in the city of Harrisburg, you can always call our office and we'll come out and install them for free. So if you're an owner-occupied house, we'll come out and install it. We'll work with you in rental properties as well to get those much-needed smoke alarms so that we're protecting your life and that of your family.
All right, Chief Enterline, thanks so much. Good to know. Commissioner Trigo, thanks for everything. And, of course, we've got more information on our website, cbs21.com. For now, we're reporting live in Harrisburg. Joe Ducey, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Joe. A Harrisburg firefighter who paid the ultimate sacrifice is being memorialized at the National Firefighters Museum. Lieutenant Dennis DeVoe died in March of last year after his car was hit while rushing to the scene of a deadly fire. His name is now one of 5,000 listed in Emmitsburg.
Having Denny's name here in Emmitsburg, that's a big deal for us. It's heartbreaking because now, we're well into a year since Denny passed away, and it's actually kind of tough to heal.
Each family yesterday received a rose, an American flag, and a badge to honor their loved one.
First responders also honored this weekend at the annual Fall Festival in Carlisle. Several hundred people took part in the afternoon of camaraderie and charity yesterday. Money raised from the event went to local volunteer firefighters and also police departments.
A lot of our first responders are volunteer-based, and so we want to recognize them for that commitment to our community, that they leave time with their family to go out and support others and help others through a tragedy that they're going through.
The event featured live music, games, and a giant bonfire.
The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the deadliest accident in this country in nearly 10 years. Details on the victims and what locals in upstate New York are saying about what could have prevented this tragedy.
Plus, a new climate change report says unprecedented changes need to be made to combat global warming, what experts say needs to happen, and how it would help Mother Earth.
Well, it is a foggy and muggy start to the day. I'll let you know we're finally going to cool things down with my first warning forecast.